Hello and welcome to the RetroTech 120p challenge. This week we're playing World Heroes. Now, the RetroTech 120p challenge, you can have as many goes as you like, but as soon as you press record, that is your run. Just 2 credits. Just 2, you naughty little rascal. And see how far you can get in World Heroes. And that is Doc Brown. Yes, he is a time-travelling scientist with weird and crazy hair. Yeah, Christopher Lloyd says, when's the check coming, ADK? This is a one-on-one fighting game where you choose from a variety of international superstars from across time and space. And your task is basically to pummel people's faces in. It's a one-on-one fighter. I'm sure you've played one of these before. You get 3 buttons, which are punch, kick, and grab. Throw really, and you can select all these 8 chums there. I'm going to choose Rasputin because he looks like he's an influencer in that picture with his hands splayed. He's like, hi, I'm going to show you about my makeup, darling, and I'm going to fight Joan of Arc. Yes, this is proper crazy. It originally came out in 1992. It was released on the AES, the Neo Geo CD, the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo. The 16-bit versions came out in 1993 and 1994. You might have seen on the previous screen there was a deathmatch mode where basically there's sort of scenery that can do damage to your characters. And it's pretty cool. You got a Bruce Lee fella, a Hulk Hogan fella, a Joan of Arc lady, a Ghengis Khan fella, an actual robot Nazi, sure, and good old Rasputin. And Rasputin is going to take us neatly and very quickly into our genital facts of the week. You see, he was a notorious shagger, was Rasputin. I'm going to tell you some of the things that may or may not be true about him now, to the point where I probably won't have time to discuss Ghengis Khan, who, statistically, allegedly, he's sort of related to about, was it 8% of us or something? 1 in 8 people? Something like that are distantly, in some way, ancestral to Ghengis Khan. Because he was such a notorious shagger. But I'm going to go for this notorious shagger first. And we will see the 2 shaggers against each other a little bit later on in this go. Rasputin. A debauched man, it's fair to say. A one-man genital facts machine for us today. And it's the first person I've ever talked about being a bit of a shagger. I don't know if you noticed there, but he called the Joan of Arc character there a boy. So maybe he's not that he's not that much of a swordsman then, if he can't tell the difference. So a lot of these facts I'm going to tell you are quite mythological, as we see the 2 shaggers battling now. Boney M. A lot of us know about his exploits via that Boney M song, which was, of course, Rasputin. He was the lover of the Russian queen, but was he? Well, possibly not. There's no actual evidence, above salacious rumours by anti-monarchists in Russia, that our holy man Grigory Rasputin had anything other than spiritual advice for Empress Alexandra. She was apparently very loyal to her husband, but who do you believe there? I'll probably go with the historical fact rather than the myth there, but But was he Russia's greatest love machine, as Boney M also pointed out? Well, he wasn't the most attractive man in the world. Apparently his nose was quite flat, his eyes were a bit creepy. He obviously had the long hair and the beard, and as the nature of most cult leaders, he never washed. So he apparently stank to high heaven. But you know what? The mid to late 1800s, they were a different time. And that's something I've always wondered about is how people actually got it on when no one took baths and there wasn't like soap and shower gel and toothpaste. It must have been how we all got here. I've no idea. It must have been like a cesspit. So one of his alleged paramours said that he might have been impotent, but then a scorned lady, as I'm about to turn this pile of rock into Arnold Schwarzenegger. So was he or wasn't he? Well, let's talk about the myths, or maybe there were facts about Rasputin that suggest he could well be Russia's greatest love machine. Well, some people allege that he had, including his wife actually, a 13-inch penis. Christ on a bike. I mean, 13. I mean, that's too much, isn't it? That's too much. Christ. Apparently he was seen when he was fatally wounded, and it was removed and sort of paraded around. So there are sort of people that do verify this claim. Not alive today, as you can imagine, what with it being 200 years ago. His religious rituals would often end in huge orgies when he would fondle the women and they would get all aroused. It is believed that women from all social circles, be they peasants or aristocrats, would throw themselves at his feet and kiss his sandals. He preferred rich ladies, though, as they smelled better. Amongst his possible thousands of lovers was his wife. Well, I wouldn't say she's possible, but his wife, Praskovya Fedorov-Dudrovina. She was apparently a woman in her early 20s, blonde-haired, beautiful, blue-eyed peasant who was quite okay with his shagging about and said he was enough for everyone. So he was sort of a long-haired, creepy, bearded, lecherous impressor of women who shagged around a lot. Possibly not consensually. Russell Brand joke to be inserted whenever you like. It is rumoured that he was reanimated not as Russell Brand, but in fact in northern England, as one David Birdsall. But I'm sure he'll verify that in the comments below. I've heard he likes a good wash, though, does David Birdsall. But everything else, apparently, is he's back to his old tricks again. So yeah, that's the end of Rasputin. But is it the end of our go? No, because remember, we haven't used the 2 credits yet. So let's move on to that, as our little influencer's all smashed up. But I'm going to choose now. I'm going to choose this guy, who's called Dragon. And the reason I'm choosing him is because he neatly ties in to my actual proper video this week. Not that this isn't a proper video, but my featured edited content, which is going to be the Game Boy Advance game based on Bruce Lee, where you sort of play through. Sorry, I've got a bit of snot in my throat, which is disgusting. You didn't want to hear that. Which is sort of based upon like a fake movie that he never made. It's all wacka wacka music. It's like a 2D platformer, as a lot of Game Boy Color games are. Game Boy Advance games are, and well worth a go. Because it's actually pretty good. It was suggested to me by one of my viewers, Kompolsky. So what I will say now, actually, is if there's a game up to about PlayStation 1 that you think I should cover that I haven't yet, start putting the suggestions down. So it could be either weird licenses, so something to do with a celebrity or food or a toy, or it could be TV. So that's another thing I do. So anything based on a TV show, I'll let you know if I've covered it already. I'm not covering games I've already covered, as it were, with that. So like I won't be doing like if I've already covered a Danger Mouse game, say, which I have on the Spectrum, I won't be doing, say, the one that came out later. And then there's obviously flop movies, because I've got some interesting news about that, which I'm going to say now. But yeah, if you want to make a suggestion, because there's probably loads of stuff that I don't know about. So up to PlayStation 1, including the handhelds, up to Nintendo DS, PSP I can play. My computer's really old. So yeah, suggest any sort of licensey thing that you think I could cover, and I might well do it. But yeah, so I had a very interesting week because for some reason the algorithm finally, after 6 years, actually ran with one of my videos, and I gained about 50 subscribers in a few days. I got the video was the Kroll one, and it had 1,600 views, which to most big YouTubers is nothing, but to someone in the 700s, it was absolutely phenomenal. It blew my mind, and it kept going every night for a few days. So that was brilliant, and thank you for everyone who's joined in the fun with the channel there, because it's great to have more people looking at my stuff, because it feels it's not pointless, doesn't it, when people look at it. So yeah, I guess there's a massive battle here, isn't it, between Dragon and Hanzo. Hanzo, I think, is named after a guy who had the Hanzo sword, isn't it? The katana. He sort of had a really strong katana. My knowledge is pretty weak on history and historical figures, I'll admit. Even those in really cartoony Neo Geo beat-em-ups, which is a fairly good beat-em-up. I'll give it its due. But yeah, so that's my go over. Just took a punch to the chin, which would put most men down from a physical specimen like Hanzo there. And I'll probably toddle off soon. Yeah. So, but yeah, thanks for a fantastic week for my channel. Everyone that watched that video and everyone that subscribed, and keep an eye out for that Bruce Lee one, which is coming up this week. And have a look at some of the other games. The other videos on this game as well, because you'll see people get a bit further than me. I've got no doubt about that. Anthony's pretty good at beat-em-ups. So yes, anyway, I'm going to stop waffling and I'm going to let you go about your day. So, thanks, bye.